Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office. Today is Wednesday. It's now the third day of September 2025, and this is the morning briefing. Looking out the window from the weather office this morning, quite a bit quieter than yesterday. Sun, there are a few clouds off to the east. There are some showers currently going on in Lassen County that I'll show you in just a minute, but today will be a cooler, more comfortable day, and a lot less thunderstorm activity, as well as lighter winds. So I think we're going to see an improving situation on a lot of the fires that got started yesterday. Let's see what's happening this morning. Once again, a lot of ground clutter. Juan Brown actually asked a question yesterday in the comment section about what causes the morning ground clutter. I'll explain that tomorrow when I record the episode 2 of the mail section, the mailbag, I guess I'm calling it. So I'll be recording that tomorrow. I'll answer why we get a lot of ground clutter in the morning. But this isn't ground clutter. No, in Lassen County and in Plumas County. Morning thunderstorms, once again, more lightning strikes. Do not know if we've had any additional fires started as I'm recording this right around 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll have to keep an eye on the cameras here to see if there are any additional starts. And so this is the morning activity, and this is still part of that same wave that made its way up the Sierra yesterday afternoon, last night. It is now continuing to the north, but this is going to be the last part of this that we see. We will see afternoon thunderstorms pop up once again. Farther to the south, as you can see, other than all the ground clutter, we don't have anything going on in terms of thunderstorms or another surge of moisture coming up from the south. So here's the way the satellite looks this morning. This is the Garnet Fire, putting up a huge amount of smoke that is trending to the north. Pretty hazy over parts of the foothills. We have marine layer on the coast. That's good because we'll also have an onshore breeze today, helping to lower temperatures. And then this is the area of thunderstorms that I just showed you on the radar. And then look at this huge shadow being cast from the early morning sun. So the sun's over here, actually more like right here, and then casting this huge shadow from these big buildups that are causing those showers and thunderstorms over Lassen and Plumas County right now. And that is continuing off to the north. Today, most of the activity will be farther to the east. As you can see over the state of Nevada, we have quite a bit of cloud cover and showers there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the fires that are going on. And as I mentioned, you see this huge amount of smoke coming off of the Garnet Fire. And it's well up into the atmosphere and being pushed up to the north. Now, in these areas, we also have fires burning. But it's interesting to note when we get a fire about what is actually burning. Let's talk a little bit about the fires that are ongoing. So for that, let's go over to watch duty. We had a lot of fires started yesterday. Some have been confirmed to have been started by lightning. Others just suspected being started by lightning. Let's go to the 6-2 fire. All of these are being considered part of the TCU complex, lightning complex. So this fire, the 6.5, this is the one that went through Chinese camp yesterday, burned across 120, Highway 120. And as of, let's see, the last update on this was 6 hours ago at 2 o'clock in the morning. The night flying helicopters finished and are returning to base. And before that, little after midnight, they said fire behavior is now moderated on all sides of the fire. So probably a lot less fire activity on this during the day today. And then the fire burning a little bit farther to the north, also part of that same complex, the one that is burning near Murphy's. So here's Murphy's up in here. Here's where the fire is burning, or has been burning. And this too hasn't had, let's see, let me click on this. This hasn't had an update in 9 hours now. And so they last updated it at 6:40. So what that tells me is that they're seeing a lot less fire activity from that. Lots of other fires started yesterday farther to the north, but all of those are out. The fires in El Dorado, County as well as in Sacramento County are out. And then so far today we've had these smaller fires, but we'll have to keep an eye on those. And then up here in Modoc County, we have a red flag warning. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the fire that's putting up all of that smoke, and that's the Garnet Fire. 29,000 acres now. And this really got active yesterday, partly because we had some strong winds, but also because we had that convective activity. I mean, it just put up a big cloud yesterday. So there's a lot of information about this. 29,000, almost 30,000 acres, 12% contained, but that doesn't mean much when it's very active on the north side of this. And again, you can see just how much smoke this is putting up. Well, there's a difference in fires. Not all fires are the same. So the couple of fires I just talked about, the one that's burning near a Chinese camp, actually moving up toward Jamestown, actually probably going to stop well before Jamestown, I shouldn't say that. But in that area, if you will, not putting up nearly as much smoke, not putting up the pyrocumulus that we saw from the Garnet Fire yesterday. Well, there's a good reason for that. Like I said, not all fires are the same. For that, let's go to Google Earth. And, all right, let's talk about this fire, the 6.5 fire. Here it is here. And then here's Chinese camp. And so this is the area that burned. So started likely by a lightning strike. What's important here is what was burning. Let's zoom in on this. This is lower foothills. All of this is grassland and brush. This is what they call light flashy fuels. And when you get a lightning strike in here, it's like tossing a road flare into a field, and all of a sudden it's going to start. And then you combine that with strong winds that many of us experienced yesterday with the thunderstorms, and that just gives this thing a head start. And you can gobble up a lot of acres in a hurry, but this is like if you're starting to start a campfire or a fire at home, this stuff is kindling. Actually, what you see here are the oak trees, and this fire would just go right underneath the oak trees. It wouldn't even touch the oak trees. So that's why these fires can move so fast, because they're just gobbling up grass, and it just moves quite quickly through the grass. And unfortunately, also the embers from that went into some homes, and there were homes lost in Chinese camp, and it crossed 120. Well, you'll see the same thing in the fire that's not too far from Murphy's. Let's go a little bit farther to the north. Here's the one, the 2-7. Same thing. Look at what's burning. Grass, as well as some brush, and then this is lower foothills, so you have grasslands mixed in with oak trees, and the oak trees might get singed, but the oak trees are not burning down in a fire like this. All right, so let's contrast that with the fire that's burning much farther to the south. Come on, where are you? Here we are. So let's zoom in on the Garnet Fire. Well, look at what this is burning. This is different. This is an different environment altogether. This is Sierra. This is pine trees. This is torching. So contrast that again with the fire you try to build at home. The other fires are just burning the kindling. They don't put up a lot of heat, and therefore don't put up as much smoke. This fire is burning whole trees. So this puts up a lot of heat. A lot of heat leads to those pyrocumulus clouds. And also, since you're burning whole trees and whole swaths of whole trees, then you're putting up a lot of smoke into the environment. And then that's how you get a satellite image like this. You don't get an image like that from a grass fire. And when I say grass fire, I don't mean to diminish the severity of the fire or the fires that have been burning in the foothills. I just mean talking about the types of fuels that are burning and the severity of the fire, if you will. And so the Garnet Fire continues to be a pretty severe fire. Okay, so let's talk about where we're going to see showers, thunderstorms today. I'll get to that other one in a second. So let's take a look at the HRRR. Here are the showers and thunderstorms in the Plumas County, Lassen County, continuing through the morning. And then into the afternoon, same area. And then for the Sierra, more of the typical areas that we see with the monsoon. On the crest of the Sierra, the east side of the Sierra, the kind of areas we see quite often. Everything diminishes tonight. And then during the day tomorrow, same sort of thing, our classic monsoon pattern. So nothing for the valley, nothing for the foothills as we head through the day tomorrow. However, Arizona will continue to see some pretty good activity. All right, let's take a look at the big picture because things are really about to change. Here's that little vort that helped initiate a lot of what we saw yesterday. So you combine the vorticity with moisture coming up from the south. And so now that leaves, we get back to our more typical pattern. A little bit of minor ridging in here over the next couple of days. But then into the weekend, temperatures really drop off. We get more of this zonal flow in here, rotating around the low. So once we get into the weekend, our highs will be in the 80s. And then look at this classic nice pattern. What is this, next Tuesday maybe? Monday. So Monday, that's a nice day. Tuesday, more troughing. Wednesday, deep troughing. The high is over Texas. And then here we have cool weather. Highs staying below average, staying in the 80s, and that will last through much of next week. So what about any rain from that? Let's take a look at the GFS. Let me get this centered up here for you. Let me back this up a little bit. So the GFS overpaints things a little bit, but that's the activity we see today. And then this is the activity we see on Friday. Saturday, nothing in the way of thunderstorms. The weekend stays nice. All right, now we have a system going by to the north. This is Monday. We have rain in the northwest, and this isn't thunderstorms. This could just be some general rain, some beneficial rain, perhaps in Oregon, where they also are dealing with some fires. This is Tuesday. Look at this, Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, again, the GFS overpaints, so we're not going to see rain in this entire area, but what this is likely showing us is the chance of some orographic showers in the Sierra, including areas like Plumas County, Lassen County, as well as areas farther to the north where there are some fires burning. So this could be a beneficial rain. Look at that. That's into the day on Wednesday. And with cooler weather sticking around, that looks really nice. Now, it's too early to say that there is going to be rain next week. What we can say is that temperatures are going to run cooler. Today, still warm, but today we'll also see lower humidity. Yesterday, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Sacramento's executive airport was 100 degrees with a dew point of 66. That's a combo we don't often see. So if you thought it was kind of hot and sweaty yesterday in the mid-afternoon, it wasn't your imagination. So we were feeling the monsoon, but we also had bright sunshine for much of the valley while the thunderstorms are going on in the foothills and the Sierra. So humidity is lower today. Temperatures are lower, not really cool just yet, but lower. But we will continue to see temperatures trend down. And if you have any outdoor plans for the weekend, that looks great, because not only will we have comfortable temperatures, but we also won't be seeing Sierra thunderstorms. So great news all around, and that the conditions over the next few days will also help firefighters. I think we'll see great progress today on the foothill fires, but today could be another active day in the Garnet Fire, just because we still have the possibility of having some of that convective sort of atmosphere. You don't need thunderstorms in the area, but with the right atmospheric conditions can help to give that fire more air. And so if it's running into more fuel, it can still continue to run. I think that's a fire we're going to have to continue to watch over the next couple of days. Like I said, almost 30,000 acres now, and it has a lot of fuel in front of it. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Like I said, a much quieter day today. Really active yesterday. Appreciate everybody's comments. Oh, and also speaking of the comments, if you have a weather question, put it in the comments section. Tomorrow I will be doing a mailbag video that I'll be posting sometime in the mid to late morning. So stay tuned for that as well. That's everything I have for you on this Wednesday morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.